Now the army here has, or the division here has reached its destination, so we can transport it over to Liaotung. And we have a hell of a lot of ships. Battleships, part 2, and a lot of submarines. Okay, the submarines definitely need to go into their own category. And these ones here. Oh, modify government. So here we have reached 150 political power, so we can modify our government. We can add tank designer, which basically it reminds me a bit of Hearts of Iron 2, in when you had research teams that were based on, you know, real life researchers or companies that would give various bonuses in various fields. But here, for example, for ship designer, we could do, or let's take aircraft designer. So if we could use Mitsubishi for light aircraft designer, if we wanted to do that, or we could go for someone who's better at medium aircraft designer, or naval aircraft designer, and so on, depending on what we want. We could go for Nissan for motorized equipment designer, which will lower motorization research time by 10%, or infantry equipment. I think at the start here, I think industrial concern will be what we focus on. Kawasaki will get hired here for industrial concern, just so our industry research will end faster, which is needed, let's just say, with all the equipment we need. Now it's 17,000. When will this be done? Will we get a projected 994 days, which is not really acceptable. Okay, a lot of things were finished at the same time. The student movement, and now we have a research slot available, and 2 research slots that were done with their individual things. So I think land doctrine, grand battle plan, gets started on that, so it's ready before the war, hopefully. We could go for this, but I mean, there's of course a penalty if you try to go ahead of the time. You can actually research things far ahead of their time, if you want to try. But I mean, this will cost you 1,414 days, so basically you might get it done like a couple of months before if you try to do it at its designated time. But you would have to dedicate basically 4 years of research, or of a research slot to do it. And this one, I think at least, will go for... Oh, what should it go for? No, let's go for construction speed, so our factories can be done faster. Once again, so we can produce even more factories and more things to do here. And, I mean, these armies here, we won't really be at war with Soviet Union, at least not in anytime soon. I have no plans on a battle against Soviet Union, or I have no intention of really helping the German Reich. Should I find, you know, the only situation where I would consider it would be if I had knocked out everything else in here, but there's a long way to go before that happens, a long, long way to go. So let's see, do I have any... Let's see, do I have any guys available for fighting? I was trying to see... No, wait, I want to get the army. Select all. Is there anyone here that is good at fighting at sea? I actually have one. He should not be here. Can I, you know, unassign him from the unit command? There we go. He should be over here instead. Is suffering attrition, in fact. Total attrition. Bad supply. I mean, that's not very good. So there's a lot of attrition facing units here in Mengoku. The Spanish Civil War broke out now between the Nationalist Spain and Republican Spain. When I tried to play a bit earlier, then Nationalist Spain won handsomely, so I wonder how this will go for Nationalist Spain this time. I'm assuming they will win again. They do start with, I think at least, with quite a lot compared to Nationalist Spain. Or I mean, Republican Spain, I mean. Let's head on with the time, speed it up even further. Now we're just a waiting game, I suppose. But holy hell, the attrition that is facing people here is intense. In the worst kind of ways. Maybe I should even split up this army into two. To have two fronts. That doesn't sound like an awful idea. Missing equipment production. Carrier fighter. Oh no, we have even more things to do now. Oh, I forgot also. We got done with the carrier, and I forgot to put it on, being there forever, or eternal production. So it ended, and now I have had naval dockyards that have not done anything at all. So somehow we need to find some way of producing these stupid carrier fighters. So I need to take one of these away and then add carrier fighter. There we go. 7.23 a year. That's not a lot, but it's only one factory available. And now Nakajima, we're done. The airplanes were done, or at least that airplane is done. I might go for... let's see, this one has air support. It also has naval mission efficiency later on, which is pretty good. But I think battlefield support will be better. Because here, at least, as far as I've understood it, you can assign them to do, here I can assign them to work in Manchuria, and then they will give, air superiority. So it will have an air superiority over the entire region of Manchuria. So it will seek out enemy airplanes and try to destroy them. And if I want to, I can just set it on not doing anything at all. So that's what I will do, because it's useless having them do otherwise. But it's, these bigger regions, it's easier, I think at least. I haven't had time to experiment too much. Easier to manage the airplanes in battle, getting them to help out and stuff like that. Because otherwise, in Hearts of Iron 3, it was a lot of micromanagement. And I've honestly never really had too much of use of the Air Force. Mostly it's been army. Even when I did Japan, it was mostly just ships and army that did work, and the airplanes kind of just were forgotten. And I'm afraid that might happen this time as well, but hopefully it won't. Okay, here we have another one being assigned here. So I think, half of them, at least, hopefully at least half of them. See how many, I have 15 selected now. I will click to unassign them from the army and assign them to their own army. That will be under the command of this guy. And he will get a front line of, let's see, these areas. And I will readjust this front line into being just here. So it will be smaller front lines and hopefully solve the supply problem. And I will readjust as well. This means that when the army spreads out, when, for example, China has been conquered or puppeted or whatever they choose to do. Okay, things are happening. I have forgotten the national focus. Extra research slot available, so research slot there as well. I think army primacy for getting the military factories is a pretty good thing, and research slot will be set to mechanical computing. There we go. That will be over and done with. What's just happening at a rapid speed? I almost forgot what I was going to say. Actually, I might have completely forgotten here. Oh, and here we have, a crossroads, I guess, with branches that are mutually exclusive when it comes to industry, between concentrated industry or dispersed industry. Meaning, dispersed industry is dispersed, so to lower the damage of strategic bombing, basically. Which is pretty interesting that option is there. If I were Germany, I would probably pick dispersed industry, just because the Britain will probably pester me with strategic bombing. But considering I'm Japan and I have no intentions of being bombed, concentrated industry will be the way to go for me. But it's just interesting that there's a choice there between the two that you can pick from depending on what you yourself value the most. Okay, so let's head on here down the path of time. I think I need to... Okay, here's the submarines and here's even more submarines. Okay, so let's do with the submarines. We'll have Nagasaki as their home base. The other ships will go for Hiroshima as their main base. Just gonna need to get some kind of order. Here we have 48 submarines. There's so many goddamn ships. So many ships. Okay, so let's try to organize this at least. Here we have some battleships and whatever else, and the 2 battleships, along with 8 of these things. Will be pretty good. Here we have this battleship fleet as well. We have a carrier and heavy cruisers and light cruisers and carrier. Let's combine them all and get the heavy cruisers out of the way. These will be moved way over here to be out of the way from everyone else. Here we have some heavy cruisers and light cruisers actually, so let's get them here as well. Let's just kind of converge everything into one place. But way over here there's even more stuff. Heavy cruisers, light cruisers, and so on. And they will be moved way over here as well. Let's kind of get everything there. And way over here some more destroyers. Let's get them here too. Just so we can get an idea of what we have and what we don't have. I don't see anything here pointing out that, you know, this usually would be said, oh, this is too many ships, they will not work as effectively if you have this many in the same fleet. I don't see that, so I don't know if I can actually have 20 ships without any problem. I could go for, you know, this Admiral, for example, Disaburo Otsawa. Here, for example, if I wanted to. I don't see any issue in it. I don't have any information really that it would be disadvantageous to have this many ships in one fleet, so might as well just go for it, right? Here we do have a lot of ships, mostly from destroyers. There's so many goddamn destroyers. But now with so many battleships, they can move into here and then do... Basically, let's just do 16. So there's 20. Let's do 20 fleets. So move that one to Osaka. And the rest can be divided up into heavy cruisers. Wait, the light cruisers will be moved as well. They will be moved to Tokyo. Like the sound. And split this fleet into 2. So now there is just kind of divided up into fleets now. A bit better order, I suppose. And one of these are done. I can transport it over now to Dalian. And I think one more here is... No, it's actually not done. The recruitment and deployment. So there's actually 2 of them done here. So where is... Wait, which one did I pick here? The Hoei-Shidan, yeah, it's true. Okay, so I think, yeah, it actually works pretty well. I could set up an amphibious army here. I could have the plan of navally attacking Qingdao, or better yet, Shanghai over here. Or maybe even Hangzhou. But it depends on what will happen later on. I think in late 1937 it will be a perfect time for the invasion of China, or at least to escalate things with China. We have some free military factories now, which is pretty good. I think maxing out this one will be necessary, and then having one here. Insufficient resources as a result, because each of these factories and what they produce require different things. Infantry equipment only requires steel, while, for example, support equipment requires aluminum as well. And motorized, of course, demands some oil and so on. So let's see, it's this time steel, yeah, that we need. So let's go for steel and increase our request here to United States for that. Funnily enough, I've never seen them say, you know, let's think about this first before moving on. They've never asked that. I could go for imperial austerity and then industrial effort, which will add some civilian factories, which is pretty good. Or I could go for increased naval production, which will add 4 naval dockyards for free. Or I could already escalate the Chinese border incident. I could already do that. Maybe that should happen. Are the divisions here ready? No, they're not, actually. I just remembered that the production of things here is so far away from being ready that I should probably wait a little bit before that. So let's go for imperial austerity and go for more factories first before thinking of attacking. And we can add a military thing here with Chief of Staff. Division attack, army drill. I think Prince Kanin Kotohito. Really? I need to read about him. Was there a prince leading things in Japan at this time? That sounds pretty awesome. I was not aware of it. I mean, we seriously have quite a lot of airplanes. Over here is only here there's like 252 airplanes divided up into 4 different wings. And here there is another 126. I don't know if we have any more beyond that, but that's already quite a lot of airplanes. Oh, here's even more. That's not that many, actually. There's only 30 airplanes. And over here is another 294 airplanes. So that's, you know, quite a lot of airplanes. Quite a lot of airplanes. You can see here a list even of how many divisions we have. Currently 72. And which army they are assigned. And, you know, which are not assigned. We can get an information here, and there we can see all the navies and how many fleets we have in total, and the type of ships we have available in total as well. And here the amount of airplanes we have available in our air forces, and which kind of air wings we have, and how big they are. So we can get quite a lot of information from that way. But for now, I think just getting up the production line to get all of this squared away would be, you know, the main goal.